guys, welcome back to All Booked Book Reviews and part 2 of our Christmas-Book-a-thon. If you missed the first one, no worries, the link is right there in the corner if you want to get caught up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this because I am excited to share this with you and I hope you guys are looking forward to this too. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm only going to take one stab at this because I will feel awful butchering her name. An Old Time Christmas is written by Koltya Labonte. And again, I am so sorry if I destroyed that. My apologies. She is also the author of a series called The Colors of Life and a couple standalones, including Just Alyssa and Sing a Song Again. An Old Time Christmas was published 2019. There's 31 pages, one chapter. It's just the one really short story. So 31 pages per chapter. And for the typical reading time, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say 45 minutes. I'd say that's, for me anyway, that's about how long it was. The genres this falls under would be Christian fiction, historical fiction, and holiday fiction and Christmas. And short stories as well. And here is the book synopsis. No one should be forgotten at Christmas. The approaching holiday season brings no joy for Eleanor Gregory. Isolated and forgotten, she ekes out a meager existence for herself and her mother, but with no money for even ordinary comforts. A Christmas celebration is far beyond her reach. How can others have so much when her life is so empty? Amid the whirl of holiday preparations, Edwin Langton can't forget the face of the girl in the red cloak. Enlisting the help of his siblings, he quickly discovers the truth of her need. Can they find a way to make Christmas brighter for their lonely little family? As the Langtons prepare their surprises, Eleanor resigns herself to another cold, lonely holiday. But will their presence be the greatest gift she receives on Christmas Day? This is really one of those sweet and wholesome stories that, just a feel-good one. Yeah, there were sad parts, in the beginning. Not really sad, but more like, I feel for this character. But by the end, you just, like I said, a very feel-good story. There wasn't much action or anything. It really focused more on, I want to say the characters, but I'm thinking more it was plot-driven. So I'll go ahead and start with the characters. Eleanor, she was relatable in the way of thinking, comparing her situation to others, which I think that's pretty relatable and realistic. And, I loved that while she wanted to wallow in self-pity, and she would start to it sometimes, but she'd be like, remind herself, I can't do that. If I remember right, she would think like, where I have this and this, some people have like less than what I have. So that was a really good reminder. I did like that. And the Langtons were the other main characters. They were pretty cool. I'll touch more on this in the dislikes, but I did like them overall. The themes of generosity, kindness, remembering those, I don't know if I want to even use this phrase, but remembering the less fortunate, which just, I don't know if I like that phrase or not. But that charity and stuff, not charity like charity, but charity as in love, you know what I mean? There were really good messages about just giving of yourself. Like I said, generosity was a big one, and holding on to faith too, I would think, and perseverance. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Perseverance, especially for Eleanor. Like I mentioned, her self-pity, it would have been so easy for her to have just, dwell in that rut of, pity and just given up. But she did not. She kept on surviving one day at a time and just plowing through. And that's a quality I really did admire. And one thing I do want to touch on briefly is the writing style. It was really, really something. I don't think I've ever read anything like that. It had a classical touch to it. Not overly wordy or hard to follow. I know this was very easy to follow. But it had I don't know, it felt like I was reading a classic, if that makes any sense. It was kind of poetic without, being poetic. I don't know. Anyway, it was really pretty. I liked how the author worded things and everything. And the Christian themes, they were really good, especially with the Langton family. They had prayer, and I want to say there was like not a Bible study per se, but like they read verses in scripture. I want to say it's been a few weeks since I've read it, so I'm a little rusty. But they definitely were, they had that wholesome family, vibe feel to them. And there were even some characters saved as well. So yeah, the gospel was presented and everything. So this is definitely Christian fiction. And as a final note, there was even a teeny tiny little twist that I did not see coming. Now, mind you, it wasn't like this earth-shattering, oh my goodness, but it was something I didn't see coming, and when it happened, I was like, oh, that's awesome, So there was even that, so that was really cool, and it added to it. And it added to some of the, conflict, like another side conflict. I won't go into it. I do not do spoilers on this channel. However, I do want to mention there was a teeny tiny little twist that was fun. I liked it. Okay, I mentioned a dislike earlier. There was only like one thing that that didn't set well or whatever, and that was the Langton family. Now, overall, I did like them. They were a huge part of the story, and they played a really good role. However, the siblings, there were several siblings. I don't know how many exactly, but out of all of them, there were like 3, 4, maybe 5 main ones who had like the dialogue, and they stood out more. So overall, the siblings as a whole really blended together, and they were hard to tell apart except for those like 3 or 4. That's like my only dislike, so that's not really a big deal. It did not dampen my enjoyment. I loved this book actually. It's just something I noticed that, they blended together and you couldn't really distinguish one from the other, except for the main ones, which those are the important ones. So yeah, totally makes sense. This will be my first weird number that I do, which it probably is annoying to some, but that's my honest rating. So I'm giving An Old Time Christmas a 4.8. And yes, it was hard to trim that star to make it a 0.8. I know it's a weird number, but that's how I feel about it. I was very torn between a 4.5 and a full 5 stars. It wasn't quite 5 stars for me. Not to say anything was wrong with it, that's just how I felt about it. Actually, I'm thinking about doing a video where I explain in detail how I rate books star-wise. I may do that. It won't be December, I can tell you that. I got way too much going on. Probably next year, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so 4.8, because it was more than a 4.5, but not quite 5, if that makes any sense. Would I reread this? Sure, this was a very enjoyable, lighthearted, like I said, I keep saying it again, a feel-good story. So I enjoyed this very much, and I would totally reread it. It was really fun. I would recommend this to anyone who enjoys good, clean Christian fiction. I'm talking squeaky clean Christmas fiction, stories of characters who persevere, feel good stories, very wholesome. There was no romance, none. So if you don't like romance, this is a book for you. And however, if you prefer Christmas books with romance, then this might not be as awesome to you. And also, if you like stories that are really family centered or family's a big theme, you'll like this. Okay, now as for where you can find this, here's the kicker, my friend. This book is not available to purchase. To get this book, you can go to her website, which I have the link down below, so no worries. You go to her website and you can download this PDF, EPUB, or Mobi. There's this one, An Old Time Christmas, and there's also a couple other stories, the Just Alyssa and Sing a Song Again. So you get like 3 stories on here if you want to. So it's 100% free. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just download it. So that's how you get that. And like I said, the link is down below. Now it is on Goodreads, so you can always rate it and review it on there. So it is on there too, and that link will be in the description as well. Alrighty guys, believe it or not, that is going to wrap things up, which I think this review went way too fast. At least it did for me doing the audio, like I zoomed through it. So I don't know. So again, if this sounds like something you would like, by all means, check it out. It's a free ebook. I mean, you cannot go wrong with that. So check that out. All the links are down below. So this has been really fun, and we are moving right along. So I will see you in the next video, which we will be reviewing Behold. So until then, happy reading.